So welcome back guys to another video, and with Kiru Kazuma's chapter officially closed in Yakuza 6, fans are eagerly waiting for the new protagonist and new playstyle, a turn-based RPG with Yakuza 7. Now with that being said, in between those two games, RGG Studios has put out a side game called Judgement, aka Judge Eyes, and that's the game I'm talking about today. It's a noir detective-based game with brawling elements that we've came to love with the Yakuza series. Is it good or is it a cold case? Let's talk about it. In Judgment, you play as Takayuki Yagami, a once hotshot lawyer whose judgment has caused a serial killer to go free. The action caused him to leave the profession and make the Yagami Detective Agency, joined by Kato, a former high-ranking Yakuza in his own right. They start with little odd-end jobs, but when another killer is set loose in Kamurocho, it's a case Yagami feels he has to crack and possibly might allow him to rise from the ashes of his disgraceful past. Now when it comes to gameplay and controls, I'm going to be reflecting on this as if you have never played a RGG Studios game or even a Yakuza game for that matter, and say on pen and paper it's an action RPG brawler with stealth detective elements. Yagami controls very well in combat with a graceful yet intense display of kung fu action and using the environments as weapons, whether it's a bike, a bat, or even a street cone. Nothing feels more satisfying than beating up thugs and other baddies in Kamurocho. And rather it's the main story or side quests, Yagami is rewarded with money and SP points. These points is where the action RPG element really comes in. You get new movesets and attributes to make things like lock picking easier, your alcohol tolerance higher, and other stats to help you progress and crack the case to the main game. That within itself, you're looking at a 20-hour long plus game, but trust me when I say, just beating the main story, you're really selling yourself short. Now the reason why I say you'd be selling yourself short is because this game takes place in Kamurocho, the same city we've came to love in the Yakuza series, and if this is your first visit, let me tell you, there is more to this city than just the main quest alone. See, RGG Studios has a very nice knack of making the main story feel like an entree, where the side quests and mini games and main side quests, yes that's the thing in the RGG games, feel like the abundance of endless salad and breadsticks which you can easily indulge and feel just as satisfied with. There's a lot to do in this game, from friend events, befriending store owners and NPCs so they can actually help you out in fights in the streets, and they'll also give you side cases and investigations that you can progress throughout the game to help give you more money and more experience to make the main story just a little extra easier. There's so much, and every time I play a Yakuza game, I had the same feeling as I did when I played Judgment. Of visiting Kamurocho, it felt like I was going back to a hometown and seeing what has changed. I've looked for Millennium Tower, I looked for Dan Tohote to listen to that very catchy theme song and to buy some more ramen, and to see what Club Sega has installed new arcades, what new games have they added. So there is a lot to this game than just the main story alone, which I absolutely love, and I think it's one of the best stories that RGG Studios has made so far. Some of the mini games I really enjoyed about this as well, I definitely want to note, is drone racing. My friend James Gruesome was like, man, you have to play drone racing, and I tried it out, and it's fun. You have your drone in this game and you collect various parts and you can go on races, and it feels like F-Zero, which is like kind of ironic because F-Zero GX was made by the same folks who eventually became RGG Studios, so that's pretty awesome. It's also got online play as well, so that alone could be a game within itself. Just drone racing, F-Zero Online. That's what it feels like. Now I'm talking about all the things I love about Judgment. Let me talk about some of the things that I did not care too much about Judgment. There are some things I didn't like about the game, and ironically it's what sets this game apart from the Yakuza series, is the detective elements. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I enjoyed the investigation mode. I enjoyed, going in first-person view and looking for clues and putting pieces together to the story. I enjoyed the drone spying mode where you kind of go in the drone and you look through windows and you spy on people. I enjoyed that, but the one thing I did not like was what I call stalk mode. Stalk mode is kind of like where you follow someone, and it's very stealthy because you're sitting there following them. If they think that someone's behind them, they turn around, your meter will fill up, you have to hide behind various things, and you're introduced to all these three elements very early on to the game. And I thought as you would progress through the game, those elements would progress with you. It'd become more challenging, more things would happen. But unfortunately it doesn't, and the stealth mode kind of becomes mundane. I mean, I would actually kind of dread going through certain missions. I'm like, oh, I gotta go follow this guy, because it seemed like it would last forever because I'm walking very, very slow after going through some crazy cliffhanger chapter. I'm going through this. So that was something I didn't like. Also, something they added in this game were med kits. You actually have to get med kits in this game. I mean, in the other previous entries, like the Yakuza games, you would get food and stamina to get your health up. But in this game, if you get stabbed, you actually lose some of your health bar, and you have to go visit an underground doctor and get a med kit. The med kits can be very expensive. The checkups, in case you don't want to get a med kit and you just want to get a checkup, can also be very expensive. And I didn't really like that too much. It wasn't as bad as Kiwami with the, enemies healing themselves. It wasn't that bad, but it was just kind of off-putting. I'm like, because the med kits alone would be like 80,000 yen, and I'm like, oh my god. So you have to really learn to block. You have to learn how to parry. You have to learn how to jump off the wall when you're in fights, because that right there could easily become a game over and make you go all the way back to certain areas, because battling a certain enemy might have a knife that will kill you every single time. But now when it comes to giving this game a score, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now listen, I'm a big RGG Studios fan. I absolutely love all the entries, some more than others, but I will say that as much as I recommend this game, there are some flaws. And I believe all the games have flaws. So I could not give this game a 9 or a 10 out of 10, because as much as I enjoy it, I can see where there were some elements that people would not enjoy about it. But I do recommend you play this game. It is so amazing, especially if you're down with the Yakuza series and this is a game that slipped under your radar last year. Definitely check it out. But anyway, guys, what do you think about Judgment? Is this something you want to play? Is this something you have played? Leave a comment below. I'd love to interact with you guys. What were some of your favorite mini games and side quests? I'd love to hear that. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to only subscribe, but also hit the bell for notifications so you're notified on all future content that comes out on this channel. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, happy gaming.